race. We are bringing to you two new teams that have joined SAH. Those are Team Rotor, uh, Vellore, VIT, and we have the Pelicans, the Pondicherry Pelicans. And the race is going to happen here right itself on 17th of July. We have a great introduction screen for you, which says that the race is starting soon, and some new logos of IDRL SAH, as well as the logos of the team. So we thank Rex FPV for doing the introduction screens, and also we thank the sponsors, One Martian Way, IRC, GetTBS.in, Quadcopters, and ZDR before beginning this race. So let's go ahead right into the pit area with the pilots. We have a gorgeous new track, and let's see what the action is happening out there. So there you go. The pilots are just about practicing right now, and they are all joined into and logged into the server. We are live on both Facebook and YouTube. So do call in your friends and buddies and whoever you want, your family, to join into the stream. And also do let us know if you're able to hear the stream properly with all the video and audio going on, and in the chat box below. Today, unfortunately, we do not have Rathi joining us from Bangalore. So there will be, we'll feel his loss, but hopefully next weekend we'll be having Rathi as well. So let's go now. Let's show you around the track a little bit and see what's happening out there. Let's take a wide-eye perspective of different camera angles. We have a recharge gate in the form of a circular fiery gate out there right at the top of the mountain. The different pilots that are practicing out here are in green and white trails. Uh, the, the Pondicherry Pelicans are in white, while the Team Rotor FPV from Vellore VIT is in green. So we have 3 players from each team that are competing today, and based upon the ranking of the pilots on their qualifications, we have them set up in a 1-to-1 position. So plenty of viewpoints out there, lots of cameras. This is the ground zero camera. And also let's go about checking if we can just follow one of these pilots. OSS FPV, the first woman pilot to compete at international level. Congratulations to her. We'll be seeing her again on Sunday, and she's practicing right now. And then also we have the captain Vetsan from the Pondicherry Pelicans. He's doing quite well as well. So these pilots looks like they have got the hang of the track. Crude FPV is another pilot from the Pondicherry, from Team Rotor FPV. He's playing the wingman. And let's look at Sanji DS. Sanji DS is from the Pondicherry Pelicans. Right. So, and Flying Slayer also, we are going to watch him. He is playing the wingman from the Pondicherry Pelicans. Dev Webb FPV is playing the captain from Team Rotor FPV, and it will be interesting to watch how he leads his team to success against the Pelicans. It's going to be a high pressure match because both these teams have never played against each other. And you can see the complications of the track as well. The track is long, definitely, but it's going to be completed in less than 3 minutes on an average. So pilots, get ready. In about 30 seconds, we're going to start this race. Season 2, Episode 6, TRV versus PPL on the 17th of July. And your countdown timer for 30 seconds starts just about right now. Fifteen seconds on the clock. And by this time, All the pilots should be ready to go. All right, pilots, we are up with time, and let's get going at the count of less than 5. There we go. Let's take a first-hand view of the pilots. We are starting from the viewpoint of OSS FPV straight away. And right now is Wetsan in the lead. So this is the pilot to watch. He has been incredibly fast in his practice rounds. And for the first time, he'll be showing his skills. OSS is going neck and neck with Wetsan. So this is a high-profile competition between the two teams. The young, fresh teams with their fiery blood. We are seeing and witnessing that. Look at that. I mean, these are definitely not the beginner pilots that you would expect. They have the pro quality, and definitely they are going to compete head on. Let's take a look at the third position pilot, crewed FPV. He is also very much behind OSS and Watsan. So it's a tough competition going on at 1, 2, 3 positions. That's the recharge gate that crewed FPV went through right now. And OSS is in the lead right now. So let's pick her up from the side view position. OSS, we are trying to follow her from the side view position. And let's try to zoom in for some other angles that we can get through. FPV view in this scenario looks to be the best because there are lots of occlusions out there, including the mountains. But nevertheless, we will be able to grab some of the other views as the pilots go on. Recharge gate again there for OSS FPV. Let's look at the competition between crewed FPV and Watsan. That's an interesting competition. Both of them just about a gate away. So we have to see what's the best view to catch these pilots. The top view seems to be good enough right now. We'll try to zoom in a little bit. Crewed FPV is getting closer to OSS trail right now and leaving behind Watsan. And come in is a Dev FPV. Look at those changing positions. Amazing competition going out there at 1, 2, 3. And OSS has proved herself. I mean, 2 minutes, 2 seconds already. Very, very good timing on the clock for that pilot. Very well done by OSS. Dev FPV, Web FPV comes in second, and crewed FPV comes in third. So it's a 1, 2, 3 position all takeout for the team from Team Rotor FPV. It's wonderfully done by these pilots. So Team Pelicans will be looking to get back into the game right now. So it's an all-out score. We'll score up the timings right now. Let's update the score sheet on the bottom left that you will be seeing updated in just about a few seconds. Meanwhile, the 45 minutes timer has started. 45-second timer has started, I'm sorry, for the pilots. So it's 1 for Dev, then we have crewed, also we have 1, and OSS is the 1. The finest starting position. What a fantastic start this has been by OSS FPV. Really enjoying all her incredible flying out there. So Watsan Flying Slayer, they have to strategize and see what the second round brings along for them. All right, pilots, you have about 15 seconds remaining on the clock right now. And let's get ready in about 10 seconds for the next round. All right, so let's take the FPV view and start right away round number 2. There you go. We are taking off once again through the eyes of OSS. But Watsan is somebody who really takes the lead in the initial stage and initial lap of this game. He just has to maintain enough focus. Look at that, how quickly he has lost to OSS and crewed right now. So interesting to follow OSS once again. She's maintaining some very, very clean lines. And look at that, going up the mountain into that quick left turn circular one. And again, impressive skills out there. Let's take a look at some of the other pilots from the Pelicans, how close they are Vatsan is trying to break through that circle, but not doing quite well as yet. So it will be mostly uh, Flying Slayer, but Flying Slayer is quite behind at this point. Vatsan has to take the responsibility out here if he has to go head on with Team Rotor FPV. Team Rotor FPV seems to be a compelling trio right now. Both these two pilots at the top two positions are international pilots, and Crude FPV is also showcasing that he can match their levels. So 1, 2, 3 again going on in lap number 2 for Team Rotor FPV. They will definitely be watching with all eyes open and all the hopes on their team at Vellore VIT. So this is going to be an incredible starting moment. Round number 2, they're already dominating, and DevWeb, the captain, has taken the lead. OS is little behind, just about one gate away. So it's a competition between the members of the same team. Vatsan will need to do something quite remarkable if he has to come back from behind out here. But it's going to take quite some propulsion from him, which right now, with his increasing number of gate crashes, seems a little difficult to achieve. So we are 1 and 2 positions, OSS and DevWeb, while Vatsan is incredibly come back from behind, and he has in fact taken the third position. What a close competition that was actually. Okay, so yeah, sure. Okay, so let's see the other pilots. Meanwhile, they are completing their rounds, and we'll unlock the server in the meantime because uh, Vatsan seems to be out. So, okay, Vatsan, you're still on the server. So, crude is okay, fine. Okay, fine. So, we have unlocked the server, please. A 2-minute timer has started for crude to join back in. And meanwhile, as we complete round number 2, those are the positions. So we have OSS and Dev FPV taking the top 2 positions. So let's, okay, cool. And Dev FPV and OSS, once again, 1 point each. It will be interesting to watch Crude FPV, but he's against Flying Slayer right now. So Flying Slayer has already completed. So 1 point actually goes to the Pelicans. This is their first opening point, it looks like. So the only 2 pilots remaining are in fact Crude FPV from this round. And let's try to join in with the Crude FPV. Looks like Crude FPV seems to have been stuck at position gate number 27. That seems to have been a loss for him. So Crude FPV has lost to Flying Slayer, and Sanjay Das, of course, has lost to OSS. So it's a 5-1 scoring right now. All right, pilots, we'll start your 45-second timer for the next round right now. All right, the stopwatch is on. And welcome all the viewers once again. Interesting competition already going on between the 2 new entrants of IDRL SAH. Big compliments to the team from Vellore VIT. They are already doing their college institution proud and the city of Vellore proud. They have picked up the 2 positions, round number 2 in complete domination. 5-1 is the scoring at the moment. The Pelicans are struggling a little bit. They seem to not have, um, a good day with those gates going through. They have to make sure that the lines are correct and they encounter fewer and fewer gate crashes, because that's going to really steal the game away from them. And let's see what's on the clock. All right, so pilots, we are about to start the next round in less than 5. There you go. Let's pick up one of the other pilots from behind coming in. And There you go. We are watching everyone from the eyes of Sanji right now. Vatsan is, of course, once again in the lead as he picks up, but Dev Webb will be quickly following him from behind. So let's try to pick up an third-person view of Dev FPV, see where he's going right now. And okay, so if you're locked out in the middle of the competition, then you lose the point. Please stay in the lobby and stay connected. We are not responsible for the technical lockouts out here. You have to make sure that your internet connection is stable. Vatsan, meanwhile, is in the lead at this point. He's really gotten the hang of this. So it's going to be a tough competition by the Pelicans coming in. Look at that. And Flying Slayer also coming in. OSS and Dev FPV have fallen a little behind. They are still struggling at the last few gates, but they are coming behind incredibly well. It will be really interesting to see how the race is going to happen. Look at that. Those pilots are really getting head on into this battle of the champions. The Pelicans are leaving no game, no stone unturned as they try to really stick on to that 1 and 2 positions. A little bit of a crash out there from Wetsan might give away the lead to Dev FPV. Is that going to be enough for him to climb up to position number 2? It's going to be interesting, but OSS has really made it once again to the top number 3. And is she good enough to be able to pick up spot number 2 and 3, 1? And she is right behind the other pilots, very, very close, about 3 gates away. Look at that. Incredible comeback from OSS. And OSS is going on in position number 2 now. And OSS from Team Rotor FPV, she is going in position number 2. She is going to go on for the kill out here. Looks like she is going to go on for round and position number 1 right behind Watsan. But Watsan has completed for the Pelicans. He picks up the win. OSS will be coming in second. And Dev FPV, if all goes well, if Flying Slayer does not pick up the win from behind, he'll be having the third position for himself. But it's still very close between these two pilots at the very end. Web FPV picks up the win at position number 3. Flying Slayer will be coming in fourth. And position number 5 is going to go to Sanji DS. All right, what a thrilling round. That was wonderful to watch these pilots. Watsan is going to be picking up 1 point for his team against DevWeb. OSS is at position 2, so she's going to even out the scoring for the Team Rotor FPV. Flying Slayer now is at position number 4, so he has picked up the win against Crude. Crude was locked out of the server, somehow disconnected. Those are the 3 points as we saw them distributed. So it's 6-3 on the nails right now. Wetsan and Flying Slayer have really come back into this round, making the deficit closer to a 3-pointer. They are getting back into this series of rounds right until round number 10. Very interesting round going on. So pilots, the timer for 45 seconds had started right now, right away. Lots of viewers on YouTube signed in right now watching this live stream. And hopefully, I think a lot of these viewers are from Team Velour VIT. And they are definitely cheering up. And also, we should be able to see the Pelicans out here, the supporters of the Pelicans. And we are just about going to start this in about 15 seconds, the next round. We are getting closer. Yes, 1 minute. Let's see if Crude is in. Yes, Crude is in, and we are setting him to flying. Okay. All right. So please stay connected, guys. This is important. I'm locking the server once again. And all right, guys, we'll be starting the race. And let's go with the pilots. Your race starts in less than 5. Superb skills out there. Watsan once again in the lead. The Pelicans seem to be coming back from behind. Watsan is high in energy right now. Seems to have gotten a Red Bull drink or something in the meantime. And he has caught on. But DevWeb is going to be thoroughly motivated right now to level up the last round in this round. So Oasis and Vatsan right now in the top two competitions. Let's see, wow, a beautiful race between Oasis and Vatsan going on right now. Interesting to watch from the third person point of view as well. Look at that, those two pilots neck and neck with each other. Oasis just in a slight lead at the moment, and Crude has come back from behind. Oh my God, and Vatsan is trying to pick up. He's just about one gate behind Oasis. And is that going to be a worrying factor for Oasis? But Oasis, look at that. She is backed up by all two of her teammates from Team Rotor FPV. This is going to be a 1-2-3, but unless Vatsan comes in, Vatsan, it's very, very too early to say anything about this competition right now. Flying Slayer is also back into the game. Sanji DS is right at the bottom, but Flying Slayer and Vatsan are going to definitely give it everything for Oasis and Crude FPV. Oasis is really ramping it up with her speed and skill and precision as she goes in spot number 1. Vatsan coming in, and he's about 10 gates away. He has knocked out Dev FPV out of position number 2. And it's going to be all up to Vatsan and Flying Slayer. Can Flying Slayer, look at that, Flying Slayer is also trying to come back. Flying Slayer and Dev FPV, those two people are really close to each other, competing against themselves and about a gate away, trying to not give any leeway to the people from the Pelicans. And Oasis FPV will be the first one who is going to complete all the 30 gates, I believe. And in that round, just about 32 gates are finished. And it's DevWeb FPV who has taken the first position, and Oasis left behind in position number 2. Flying Slayer will be coming in as well, as we see him coming in, dashing into the finish gate. And Crude FPV, who was knocked out of the server, will be coming in as well for position number 5, as Sanji Das is still a good lap away from the finish line. What an exciting competition this was. Once again, lots of positions going up and down out here, and this is turning out to be quite a night with Team Rotor FPV really getting about, dominating this performance out here. DevWeb has scored against Vatsan. The captain of Team Rotor FPV has scored against the captain of Pelicans. Oasis FPV has scored against Sanji Das. And also we have Crude FPV against Sanji. So Crude FPV also takes that win. So it's an all-out 3-pointer on round number 4 for the Team Rotor FPV. They will be celebrating right now at Vellore BIT. Okay, Crude FPV versus Flying Slayer. Okay, sorry about that. Thanks for correcting. Oh yeah. Okay, Flying Slayer is one. There you go. So it's right now a 4-pointer game. It was not quite a clean finish as we thought. And let's see now what round number 5 brings in as we head on and start about a 20-second timer to get going. Pilots are definitely going to make sure that they are going to level up out here with their skills and the lines, keeping it clean and keeping themselves focused on the game and between whatever practice time they are getting. All right, pilots, we are set to go. This time tuning in through the eyes of DevWeb FPV, and we are in the game of a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There you go. And who is in the lead? Vatsan once again in the lead. Vatsan is the man who really picks it up at the start line. But Crude FPV is coming here, and Crude FPV is joining the fun and trying to chase Vatsan out here. Let's see how the competition looks between them. Look at that. Crude FPV is chasing the tail of Vatsan right now, and it will be incredibly amazing to see how he chases Vatsan and puts the pressure from behind. Crude FPV right now is playing the wingman, so he's going to do everything for the Team Rotor FPV's captain DevWeb FPV. Vatsan is holding strong at position number 1. Look at that, he's already at lap number 2, gate number 9. DevWeb is coming from behind, so it's going to be DevWeb It's going to be his responsibility or OSS to topple up Vatsan. Right now, let's take a look at the FPV view of a DevWeb. DevWeb is trying to chase Vatsan from behind. But there are some crashes and mistakes out there. Vatsan is going strong, heading, and no mistakes committed right now by him, which is going to give him a really, really clean lead and position in this round. At least he's going to have a very good chance unless he makes some good mistakes, but doesn't look like he is now well ahead of DevWeb FPV. But DevWeb, he's coming in behind as well. DevWeb is about 9 gates away and toppled by OSS. So look at that. Those 3 pilots out there are going to be, let's take a view from the other point in the game out there. All these pilots are flying very, very close to each other. You can see from the top view how close they are. They are really mimicking each other's moves, and OSS is the one who has emerged the first one out of Team Rotor FPV. But unfortunately, Vatsan for the Pelicans has taken the first position. OSS FPV will be taking the second position, looks like, unless Dev FPV cleans it up at the finish line. But Dev FPV and Crude FPV almost finishing up neck to neck each other. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, and 4 going to Team Rotor FPV. And Vatsan picking up position number 1. It's a comeback. It's some kind of a comeback from the Pelicans. So it will be again. Let's see at halftime what the position looks like. It's going to be Vatsan against DevWeb, has picked up the 1 point out there. Then we have Crude against a Flying Slayer, and Crude has picked up the point this time around. He levels it up for Team Rotor FPV. And then we have OSS FPV, and OSS FPV has won against Sanji DS. So it's going to be that distribution out there with a 10:5, a 5-point game right now between Team Rotor FPV and the Pelicans out there. Pelicans have to increase the size of their bellies and their beaks if they have to really come back from those 5-pointers. They have to catch a lot of fish out here, and they have to look and fly really well. So at halftime, we take about a 1-minute gap. Those who are hooked up right now, stay tuned. In about 1 minute, round number 6 starts. If you are, tuned in at home and sitting and enjoying this race on your sofa and bedroom, we'll give you some time to pick up your popcorn tubs and sodas and whatever you want to bring along, a late night coffee, whatever keeps you awake, because the next 5 rounds are going to be thrilling, and round number 10 is going to be the one that's going to be the decider. It's going to make or break the championship between these two teams. And this is the first opener, so whatever confidence is going to build between these two teams is going to take them far, far away into the series. This is just the group stage. Right now, we're going to see them once again into the knockouts, and the knockouts are going to begin exactly on our Independence Day, the 15th of August. So there you go, and let's now begin the 30-second timer, pilots, to start round number 6. And you have 30 seconds remaining on the clock to take your last practice rounds, if any. Let's see how Vatsan is making use of every second of this practice round, trying to make sure that he covers every nook and corner of that gate, trying to flow in and out. And those mountain peaks are somehow, and that ring around the mountain peak is turning out to be the worst possible for Vatsan right now. He's trying to nail it down. All right, pilots, your 30 seconds are up. Let's go at the count of less than 5. Round number 6 is about to begin. We are following Vatsan. Look at those pilots take off. Vatsan is how he takes off like that. And he's maintaining the lead right now, Vatsan. Let's see what's going to happen out there from a FPV perspective of Vatsan. Vatsan is really driving it right now, and OSS is a little bit away from Vatsan. Vatsan seems to have really gotten the momentum. Oh my God, that corner is not really favorable to Watson. That gives away some of the timing to Crude, and Oasis are really gathering up for their captain Dev Webb FPV, who is in the 5th position right now. The captain has to lead from behind while the wingman has taken the front line position. The Crude FPV is trying to battle it out hard against Watson. And let's see once again the competition between these two pilots, how far they are just about 1 or 2 gates away. Zooming out, you can see how close Crude FPV is. Oh my God, he is very, very close to the Pelican champion out here, Watson. Watson is just about 2 gates away. They are recharged now back again into that recharge gate. They are flying through, and Crude FPV is about just about 5 or 6 gates away behind. Watson is still maintaining a very, very dominating performance. Crude FPV had a little bit of a stuck and go kind of an issue out there. But right now we are following Watson, and let's take a look at the eyes of Crude FPV if we can see him through, and if we can spot Watson from his first person view. But right now it's between Watson and Crude. They are very, very close to each other. Wow, they are indeed very close to each other. This is going to be some of the last few gates coming in. Watson seems to be around 6 gates more, and Watson has completed, and he's taken the position number 1 once again as the captain, leading from the first position. Crude FPV takes in 2nd. Oasis comes in 3rd. Oh my God, wow, that's and Flying Slayer, wow, that was quite an interesting thing, and Oasis and Dev. But in terms of the internal competition, let's see what's going to happen. So Dev Webb, we can see that he was defeated by Watson. Watson picks up 1 point. Crude FPV against Flying Slayer. Crude FPV picks up 1 point. And then we have Oasis against Sanji DS. Oasis picks up 1 point. So it's still a 1 point gain in this round for TRV. And the Pelicans now will be in a very good thinking mode. And not only has their captain got to score, but even Sanjay Das and the wingman have to really score it up if they have to get back into this game. 7, 8, 9 are the rounds that they have to really come back in. And the 10th round is going to be 3-pointers. So pilots, your 30 seconds have started right now as we go into the round number 7 post the halftime. What a beautiful match this has turned out to be. We never expected the 2 new entrants give us such a thriller of a match, and it's already poised to become one of the finest matches that we have seen so far, not only at IDRL SAH but also at IDRL, because the track is gorgeous. The pilots, even they are new, they are, they are acting like they are pro pilots. They are really showing the skills of fine trained pro pilots. Some of them still have to clean up on their lines, but pilots like Watson and Oasis are really ahead of the curve at this point in time. So pilots, 30 seconds are up, and we will start with round number 7 in less than 5. There you go. Beautiful takeoff positions. Watson leading in the big and Flying Slayer looks like. Wow, it's going to be interesting to watch all of them at very, very close gate positions. So the gates really start opening up, and the distance really starts pedaling up once they get past a little behind midway into lap number 1 and towards lap number 2. We are following through the eyes of Flying Slayer right now. Flying Slayer going through the circuit out there, and closely followed by Oasis. Oasis is trying to snatch it from behind, and Oasis has toppled up Flying Slayer. Oasis is taking the lead, but Flying Slayer has come back again from behind. Wow, what a thriller of a game this is going on between these two pilots. And right at the top out there, you can see Oasis, Flying Slayer, Oasis. They are just jumping around once again each other hovering and meandering around each other. But this time, Crude FPV has come back and toppled over Flying Slayer. So it's TRV all the way at 1-2 positions. Look at those two pilots, and Crude FPV, the wingman, has come back on top, and OSS has really recovered it from behind. It's now 1-2-3 positions. Let's look at Dev FPV's first person view, and it's going to be also position number 2 for him at the moment, and OSS is going to be at spot number 1 right now. Beautiful flying. Look at that OSS. We are so very fortunate to see a pilot like this, and she's a lady and woman really leading up from the top. Already international level pilot, and she is truly showing her skills going up the mountain. Look at those fine turns out there, and she seems to be improving day by day out here, and also supported massively by everyone at Team Rotor FPV and the folks behind them. Dev FPV has just come in from behind. Unfortunate for OSS, but nevertheless they won't be disappointed if they're defeated by the same team member. Right now, Crude FPV, so it's 1-2-3 positions, all at going to 3 points for TRV. Is absolutely no question of counting even the points out there. It's 1-1-1 for each of the teams. Now, really, TRV is taking the game away. It's a 9-point game right now. Round number 8 should bring about some kind of a drastic change out here. If the Pelicans really need a 3-pointer right now, I would say, and the Pelicans really are in some kind of a deep pond. They are not able to escape. They are stuck in the gut of a fish or a shark, something like that, as they try to fly harder. But Team Rotor FPV is all technical and all sound, and they have really practiced this track really well, and they are really in a commanding position right now, as we see how well these pilots are actually flying. OS is wasting no time, and okay guys, you have 20 seconds more to start with round number 8. A thrilling competition right now going on. All the viewers on YouTube, welcome once again. All right, pilots, round number 8 is about to begin in front of you, and let's go for the kill in less than 5. Round number 8 has begun, and let's see. OSS is behind right now, Vatsan as always, but look at that, Flying Slayer and Vatsan. They are laying the groundwork, as Vatsan always leads the way, and then Dev FPV catches up. So we are seeing very much the same competition position going on from the last round around. See, Vatsan had a little bit of a crash that got Dev FPV just a little bit room to navigate around Vatsan and took complete advantage of that situation with Vatsan, and he is now at position number 1. OSS is closely following, so Vatsan is really sandwiched between Dev FPV and OSS. TRV is playing really the game out here to put the pressure on the captain of Pelicans, and they have together outwitted the captain of Vatsan at this moment of Pelicans. Vatsan seems to be a little bit furious with that sandwiching that encountered right now, and that was quite a skill between these two pilots, quite a synchronization. OSS FPV also now will be staying close behind her captain out here, and OSS is taken the lead, and DevWeb has absolutely no problem because he's always on the lookout for his teammates. OSS is leading fine in the front. Dev FPV is fine to lead at the position number 2. Dev FPV just has to make sure that Vatsan does not come in, but looks like Vatsan is coming in. Look at that, very close competition. Dev FPV has to hold him up in any situation because they cannot afford to give the point to the Pelicans right now. It's going to be very close competition. Vatsan is again, he tried so hard, but about 6 gates away. Oh, what a real disappointment for Vatsan. Vatsan was very close to DevWeb FPV, and he has just, it's really sad to say that he's going to finish in position number 3, if anything. And Crude FPV right in behind him. Flying Slayer will be coming in at position number 5 and Sanjay DS at position number 6. So let's look at the scorecard out here. The final positions of round number 8 are Oasis FPV. Let's see, Dev FPV has picked up the win against Wetsan. Wow, Wetsan was really leading out there but lost it out to the tremendous killing performance. Crude FPV against Flying Slayer. Again, Crude FPV emerges out there against Flying Slayer. And Oasis versus Sanji has also picked up one. So it's a clean 1-point ride for a 3-point ride for the team Rotor FPV. They are completely in a dominating performance. They are well ahead of the finish line at this point. Round number 9 and round number 10 will be interesting to watch as well. Let's give a 30-minute timer, 30-second timer, and wow, what a thrilling competition this is going. They will be already celebrating at VIT Velo tonight. Their team has been really dominating this performance, and they will be really celebrating with the voices and chanting OSS FPV and Dev Web FPV and Crude FPV. Crude FPV is really turning out to be a fine pilot as well. I am personally so amazed to see Crude FPV doing so well. And let's go pilots now. We are right in the middle of the game to start round number 9. Round number 9 coming up right in front of you viewers, starting in less than 5. Let's pick up this angle from a different point. If at all, let's quickly see who's in position. Flying Slayer got off to a flying start out there, but quickly overtaken by, oh my God, Flying Slayer coming back again. Flying Slayer seems to have some kind of a game plan going on, but Crude and Dev, Team Rotor FPV, it's important to really stay consistent. That's what Team Rotor is showing. And look at that, the captain is really now furious of the Pelicans. He's really opening up all his widest of the beaks and the widest of the bellies to really swallow up the two, Team Rotor FPV guys. He's right behind Crude right now. So Crude is in is a dominating performance, but Vatsan has taken over. Look at that. Just at that fine position turnaround, Vatsan has taken it up. Just Crude FPV let it up a little bit, but both of them going on simultaneously. Wow, what a thriller of a game. Both of them going on simultaneously. Vatsan giving no chance to Crude FPV. They are exactly at the same gate in exact synchronization. This is probably the round of this championship, I would say. And Vatsan, oh my God, Crude FPV dropped a little bit, giving the lead away to Vatsan. Vatsan has flown away with that lead of that crash at the circular wooden gate out there at the mountains. I'm sorry, the stone gate at the mountains. And Vatsan now, Vatsan, let's see, close up. He's really hanging it out. A little bit of a confusion out there. Crude FPV coming back. Crude FPV and Vatsan. What a close competition this is between the two pilots. Oh my God, this is going to be a thriller to watch right up till the very end. Both of them right at the same gate. The exact same gate they are at, but Vatsan has emerged at position number 1. Once again, both of them are at the same position. Can they do it? Can they finish exactly same? Wow, this is going to be quite a thriller. Vatsan completes it right behind that, and Flying Slayer takes it on behind. Wow, what is going on out here? Look at those last minute changes that happened. Everybody was in the game. What a thriller. What a thriller. Look at that. Vatsan is celebrating out there for his round. He was really impressed. And, guys, we have to take a look at this timings. Look at that. Vatsan and Crude were actually so close, but eventually Crude finished 5 seconds behind. And from nowhere behind, Flying Slayer had come in, but then Dev FPV came in and overtook him. And Oasis also came in quickly to finish at 2 minutes 10 seconds. So let's see what that entails for a round number 9 scoring. And Vatsan is the leader. He is getting very high in confidence right now. He's defeated the captain right now of Team Rotor FPV. 1 point for the Pelicans again, and Flying Slayer has defeated. Wow, at the very last end, Flying Slayer came in from behind. That deserves a huge round of applause for Flying Slayer. He took the win, and Crude was supposed to finish at spot number 1, and he's finished at spot number 4. Oh wow, what a thriller. And only pilot to gain the point for the Team Rotor FPV is Oasis, and she has maintained good consistency. Um, and Sanjida still has to receive and complete the last lap of this gate. He is right now flying very, very slowly, completing, but we won't wait. And so, guys, round number 10, the final one coming in. This is the knockout round. One pilot is going to take 3 points away for their team, and but it's still very much out of the reach of the Pelicans, but they can still finish a decent 19:11, which will definitely help them score a lot in terms of the points and our currency Dabatas. Hope Jivitesh Dabatas is also watching out there with all the Dabata fans in the YouTube channel. Everybody seems to be on YouTube right now. So pilots, let's start the timer for your 30 seconds right now. And those who are watching, viewers, thank you so much for joining in. Of course, this was such a rapid competition today. Wonderful track to watch. We got multiple camera angles out there, up to 5 camera angles that we can chase the pilots from. And we are witnessing quite a history being made between these two new entrants. So pilots, let's get ready for this final race. Your 30 seconds are up right now, and the final race coming up to you in less than 5. Let's see who takes up this race. It's going to be interesting. Watson, all the pilots are geared up. Let's see who's in the lead. Flying Slayer and Watson are in the lead at this point. Crude FPV is coming in from behind, exactly behind Watson, and Oasis is now really getting behind Watson. But Crude and Watson, it's really emerging. The two competition favorites are Watson and Crude right at the top, but Flying Slayer quickly coming in. Flying Slayer and Watson, they are competing against each other right now. And let's see who is going to take the position number 3, because position number 3 is with the Crude FPV, and Oasis FPV is at position number 4, and Dev FPV is at position number 5, and Sanjay DS at position number 6. So it's going to be all out for Crude FPV. He has to really chase the tail of Watson out here if he has to pick up the points and emerge dominating 22 points for his team. But Watson is about just about 1 gate away. Wow, look at that thriller that's emerging. Oh wow, and Crude has taken it away from Watson. It's going to be quite a thriller because Watson has to now double work. He really had a crash on that gate as Crude took it away in just the nick of time, and Crude is now stuck, which gives Watson the lead, and Watson is now at position number 1. Look at those two pilots, 1 and 1, each of them at the same gate and the positions. Let's look at that from this different angle, and Crude FPV now 2 gates ahead, and also let's see from this viewpoint, Flying Slayer and Watson. Now the Pelicans are doing it all up for positions number 1 and 2. Team Rotor FPV has to finish from behind. Anybody's game, like the round that we had last time. All these pilots are really tuning in. Flying Slayer going in at position number 1. That's his FPV view. And we are Crude FPV view also is at position number 2. And Watson, it's really between Watson and Crude FPV. But Flying Slayer, oh my God, Flying Slayer has picked up from nowhere in the last round. He has picked up the win for his captain, and look at that, very, very commanding win as well. Flying Slayer had virtually, been lost out of the competition. We did not see him that much, but this time he really dominated it, and he took away the 3 points for his team and the captain. So 3 points awarded to the Pelicans out here. that finishes them at a very impressive 11 points against the very super competitive team TRV. So guys, this was such a thriller, and it's really fortunate that some of these games that we are witnessing really happen very rarely. But once again, such a beautiful Saturday Night Live we have had on our SAH season championships out here with episode number 6. We're going to leave away with some of the FPV views of these pilots out there. You can once again take a look at the track, and so that's what we have. The final score is going to be Team Rotor FPV has won episode number 6. Hip hip hooray is from the call of VIT Velo. They are celebrating tonight for Oasis DevWeb and Crude FPV, and 19 points for TRV. And the Pelicans shouldn't be disappointed. The captain really worked it up, and Flying Slayer was the one who got the 3 points. I'm sorry about that. Just a quick correction. So Flying Slayer got the 3 points out there. And wow, the comments are really streaming in now. A beautiful race to watch. And guys, that's about it that we have right now from our studios out here. But we are going to leave you with some of these beautiful views out here from the track that just happened. And do join us tomorrow and Sunday as well. We have back-to-back racing going on. Today was unusual because it was a Friday, but we had to chip in these new entrants. That is why they were scheduled. Our entire roster schedule is already posted on all our social media. Do have a look at it. You'll get a view of the coming games. And the next one, just to quickly announce the next race that's happening so that the pilots who are competing in the next one will also be ready. It's going to be the big game between ZDR and KKR. Zine Drone Racing led by Team Devnath, and KKR, the Kalinga Krakens and the Dragons led by the Dabata of the world. It's going to be super competitive. The next one coming around, that's going to happen tomorrow. It's going to be 18th of July, and it's going to be same time, 9:30 p.m. Do join us exactly at the same time. We will be bringing you such a lot of action. Tomorrow's game is going to be an absolute thriller as well. So tonight, we are very glad that you joined us, and thank you so much. Hopefully over the weekend or sometime next weekend, we will be having Rathi FPB join us. But from tonight, from our studios in Mumbai, from the IDRL Theatre, it's all out and all away. Have a good night and sweet dreams. Thank you.